And she got mad, so she said, okay, I'm going to set him up. So she made the Bible, read it carefully. The Bible says she cleared all the servants out the house. I don't know the witness. Probably he ain't doing what he need to do because he's scared somebody going to tell it. So she clears all the servants out the house, and she calls him in. I need something fixed. And he comes in the room, and she shuts the door behind him. I said, lie with me, boy. And he said, oh, my God. Paul would later tell us, he said, young man, flee lust. He said, don't negotiate with it. Don't try to talk to a woman. Don't sit up there and say, Lord, is this your will? And so Joseph, the Bible says she grabbed Joseph. Watch this. She grabbed Joseph with her lust, but Joseph didn't let her lust grab him. Satan will lay siege to your mind, but you don't have to lay siege to what siege in you. So lust can come in your mind, but don't let it get in your heart. And so Joseph, he was tempted. You know, was tempted. And Joseph said, I got to get out of here. And the Bible said he ran. He fled. He got away. But as he was leaving, she grabbed his tunic. And there's a thin line between lust and hate. And she went from lusting after him to hating him. Okay, I'm going to lie this on the bed. Let me mess up the bed. And then she cried to one of the servants, come, go get my husband. Tell him I've been almost violated. Potiphar comes home and he sees his wife all emotional, all her mascara everywhere. She cried herself happy. And now she said, that boy, your boy wonder, Joseph, the one you put in charge of everything, you told him not to touch me. See his tunic. He tried to touch me. He tried to take me. And if I hadn't screamed, no telling what he would have done. He ran out so fast that he left his clothes. Now Potiphar, he's looking at it. He's been blessed by Joseph. You don't want to lose your blessing. And he's looking at his wife, and he's looking at her and saying, How many times you know somebody lying, but you just can't say, girl, you lying. But you know you ain't telling the truth. So he looks at it, he calls Joseph. Now, here's the proof that he didn't believe that Joseph did that. If you're an Egyptian, any law violation, you have a right to court. And those administrators will adjudicate whether you're guilty or not. If you're a slave, you have no rights. A slave master can put you to death at will. Do you think for one moment, if Potiphar thought that Joseph had tried to rape his wife, that he would put him in prison? Right. Didn't have him beaten or nothing, just put him in prison. That was his admission that he didn't believe that Joseph did it. But the servants and all in the house was looking at this because they was believing her. What kind of man would you be to let somebody mess with your wife and you don't do nothing? So he had to do something even though he knew it was a lie. Now, some of you may have been mistreated. Your boss knew you didn't do that. Your boss or someone in high authority knew that you was innocent. But the cost of vouching for you will be too high. So they let you suffer. Are you listening? And now you can get bitter because you know that they know you didn't do it. Then why are you doing this to me? You know this is not who I am, so why are you acting like that? Are you listening? But Joseph was thrown into prison. And we got to wrap this up. I want you to see something. In prison, Joseph didn't complain about the false accusations. He did not complain about putting in prison. He complained to his master, Master, I didn't do this. I don't mean to call her a liar, but that ain't true. I didn't do that. Now he's in prison. And while he's in prison, are you in a place you ain't supposed to be? While he's in prison, Joseph is given menial tasks. He went from being an overseer to the top of the slave trade, if you will, slave household, to the low man in prison. But the Bible says in prison, the Lord was with him. See, you and I, sometimes we get in so much trouble and we forget about God is with us. We think we are in this thing by ourselves. And then we say, God, if you love me, why did you let this happen? Now, come on now, this boy's 17 years old. God, you told me I was going to have this, be this, and do that. Now I'm in prison. I'm a convict. And I hadn't done nothing. But Joseph didn't complain. What unfairly has happened in your life that you're complaining about, that you can't even pray? You can't worship. Because every time you worship and pray, you say, Lord, see, you come into those complaints. And God says, you can't get to your worship because your heart is heavy and filled with your anger, your bitterness, your complaint. Complaints and things, when it stays in your heart, it becomes bitterness. And the anointing can't dwell there. The blessings can't come there. He did not complain. And you know what else Joseph didn't do? He didn't blame God. Can we say that?